Our eyes on the streets, and here on the Trending Now segment, my team and I do our best on a daily basis from Monday to Friday to bring you all the trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today in Lagos State, where the Lagos State Taskforce has arrested 32 members of a group popularly known as Omotaku, a street term used to describe groups of idle youth who loiter around major roads, often harassing motorists and disrupting traffic. Now, these arrests were made on Tuesday during a coordinated enforcement operation across key roads on both the island and the mainland. And according to the Taskforce, the suspects were apprehended for causing public nuisance, illegally obstructing traffic, and endangering motorists. Officials say that this operation followed repeated complaints from residents over the activities of the youths who were accused of harassing drivers and creating safety risks on major highways. Some of those arrested were reportedly found smoking substances suspected to be hard drugs, including Indian hemp. In another related development, the Lagos State government has also intensified its clampdown on street beggars and urchins across major parts of the state, including the Lekki-Aja Expressway. The Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, confirmed the ongoing operation in an update shared on X, saying that these raids have also extended to other strategic locations across Lagos. But as these arrests continue across the state, a troubling detail has now emerged. Many of those picked up are children, and that raises a bigger question that goes beyond law enforcement. What happens to children who have been forgotten by society? Let's have a look at social media. This is a tweet by the Commissioner Tokunbo Wahab for Water Resources and the Environment. He got a lot of backlash because of the arrest. A lot of them were children, and he responded. He said, advocacy and enforcement cannot be approached with emotion or knee-jerk reactions. They must be guided by law, data, and long-term social responsibility. No one disputes the reality of poverty or the dangers children face on our highways. The presence of minors on major expressways like Lekki-Ekpe is precisely why intervention is necessary, not why enforcement should be abandoned. Leaving children to dodge speeding vehicles in the name of compassion is not empathy, it is neglect. Babachide Blunt says, let's start handpicking these people and enroll them for forceful employment, like farming. They will live and work on the farm where they only produce for the Lagos market under strict guidance. Declare Operation No Loitering around the bridge, under the bridge, and in any other public infrastructure. We need to sanitize our roads, because if we don't, people will start looking for guns by any means possible to defend themselves on the road. Very apt point. And finally, I'll take a short excerpt from Folu. He says, primary and secondary school education has been tuition-free in Lagos for 26 years because of Chief Obafemi Awolowo's 1955 free education policy in the Western region. So I don't understand why these kids who should be in school are on the streets during school hours. Under Lagos State Child's Rights Law of 2007 and Universal Basic Education Law of Lagos State of 2005, this is very interesting, and that user team was very correct. You know, the measures for children when we arrest them should not necessarily be punitive. Rather, they should focus on welfare, rehabilitation, and child protection. We also have to put into context that a lot of these Omotaku are products of a broken system. They've engaged in crime because the system often failed them. So where do we go from here for children who have been forgotten by society now being rounded up by the Lagos Taskforce? Mr. Shomi.
Well, I fully support the Lagos State government in what they're trying to do. I think other states need to emulate them. If you bear in mind that, you know, there's what they call the Child Rights Act, and that has to be fully implemented. You cannot have 22 million street kids, you know, roaming the streets, and then you think everything is okay. We don't have to do anything about it. We need to get them into school. We need to make social provision for them. And look, how do you expect them to feed on the streets? The Omotakus, they would have to end up, you know, committing one crime or the other in order to feed. So that's the problem. So Lagos State government, well done. I think they're trying to deal with the problem.
For me, a lot of people will say I'm speaking without emotions now, but I tell you what, you know, I love what Lagos State is doing because we put so many emotions in things that we should not. Have you been a victim of these people on the road? Then you will understand, you know, that it's right for them to get these people off the road. Let's even leave this aside and talk about the coastal road. It's another thing that is happening there. A lot of them are on that coastal road. You know, they are just there doing nothing, causing mayhem. These people attack people sometimes in the night. And I'm very sure of this because I know people that they have attacked. My friend, her phone was taken. In as much as I say that, yes, we need to give them a better place. Schools need to provide it for these children. You know, some of them are even so hard on drugs that we need to take them to even evaluate their mental health. But what is happening on social media where a lot of, influencers are saying, oh, why did Lagos State do that? Where do they want them to be? These people are dangerous on the streets. These people should not be on the street. These people harm people. We talk about one child. We talk about people stealing people's phones in the night. Who are the people that do it? These particular people. So it's either you take them off there, you give them somewhere to be. But as for taking them off the road, I am so for it. They need to be off the roads. And especially, Mr. Tokumbo Wahab, you need to look into the coastal road because I live around that area. And trust me, in the night, I'm even scared to go by that road.
You're very correct. Because one of our reporters had done a report, on that coastal road. Yeah. At that time, he was saying that there were not many there, but some guys you could see them. So on the street of Lagos, go to several places in Lagos, especially at night, Mile 12, Ikorodu, go to Ikotu and all of those places. You have your car breakdown and you see these guys coming out. First thing, they ask you for money. Yeah. If you're not providing them the money, you're not moving your car, you're not touching your car, you're not going to have to do anything in your car. It's not that they are mechanic, that they will do anything for you. They can even vandalize your car, even vandalize you if you're not very careful. So it is good that the Lagos State government has started cracking down on them, and they have to ensure that whenever they are taking them, they are also not constituting nuisance. Yeah. They have to rehabilitate them, create institutions for them, social safety nets and all of that, because some would say, what about their parents? Some of them, unfortunately, they didn't meet their parents alive. So many things that happen. So where is the place of the government? That's what we are saying now. But do not just take them, deport them back to their states. But those of them that belong to Lagos State, ensure that you provide social safety net for them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Tim. I couldn't agree with you more. These youths are absolutely menaces to society. But without social policy that works to effectively reintegrate them back into society, I fear that the streets will keep refilling and the arrests are futile. But thank you so much for your input. Moving on in the world of social media, Regina Daniels says she's undergone a medical drug test to clear allegations of drug and alcohol addiction made by her estranged husband, businessman and lawmaker, Senator Ned Nwoko. Now, the couple's private dispute spilled into public view in October after a viral video showed Daniels in tears accusing Ned Nwoko of domestic violence. He responded by alleging that the actress was battling substance abuse. Well, Regina Daniels later admitted to past drug use, but accused Ned Nwoko of enabling and weaponizing the habit as a means to control her. Well, in a new Instagram post, the actress shared footage from an unnamed hospital showing her undergoing a drug test and later collecting the results. She says the test was done to clear her name, firmly denying any current use of hard drugs, although she did acknowledge previously using Molly, the street name for MDMA, short for methylene dioxymethamphetamine, also known to the use as ecstasy. Let's have a look at this video.
I'm here at the hospital. I'm about to run my drug tests. Or if you were positive for something, he would mark it and then you were confirmed, but you're negative completely. Okay? So you have nothing to worry about. And then if they're giving you any problem, just give us a call back at this phone number.
Thank you. Unfortunately, what began as a private marital crisis has now become a public reckoning that's unfolding online in real time with lots of reputations on the line. Let's have a look at social media. Yeti says, it takes guts to do this, especially doing it abroad where you can barely lie. But I hope it's truly for healing and not social media validation, because you can actually do this in the morning and get to the matter once the result is out. So Gina, do it for yourself, my dear. And Oracle says, hi Regina, this is not a necessary video, and in shooting this video, you kept contradicting yourself. You said you don't want to do drugs, but you admit to using Molly, which is a controlled drug, and that you had a reason for taking it, and which you wouldn't explain to anyone. You went on again to say that you don't fight your battles, that you leave them for God, yet you plan to sue at a later date. I don't understand and can't make sense of so many inconsistencies riddled into this unnecessary broadcast. Just leave this matter and move on with your life. You can do better, I beg. Now, team, time and time again on Trending Now, I've had to take marital crises that unfortunately should have remained private. But I do believe that she's protecting her image. She is an actress, you know, her money and her means do come from her acting and in turn her reputation. And so this is, for me, it's a strategic move, not necessarily.
And for a mother, just seeing that on social media, you're not able to get close to your son. You know, we're all women, we understand how it is. So Regina, I wish you the very best. I do not understand the people, you know, castigating her on this particular issue.
With many social media users who are saying that this issue goes beyond money, pointing instead to changing attitudes around respect, responsibility, and family roles. But have a look at the exchange for yourself.
School fees. If like me, I'm not paying school fees. Have you ever paid any school fees for anybody here?
I have not paid.
And not because that is happening, because that is happening because I didn't.
Okay, I'm waiting.
You tell me that you just get your kid, I will not go to school. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Now, as reactions continue to pour in, the video has sparked a broader conversation. What has really changed in parent-child relationships? And how would you respond as a Nigerian if your child spoke to you this way? Let's have a look at social media. Very interesting. Olife Valentine says, wake him up at 2 a.m. with water and koboko. Make sure he feels it in his bones at daybreak. Send him to his new school, the mechanic workshop where he's now the new apprentice. Oluwafumilayo says, you just know that's how the father disrespects the mom in his presence. Now, team, this video also struck a nerve with me, and I was doing a lot of reading, and psychology tells us that what's happening, if you ask me, is something called parentification, where a child takes on a lot of burdens, economic, emotional burdens in the home, and this really turns him to feel that he is now taking on the parental role in the house, and that leads to frustration and resentment. On the other hand, there's also public sentiment that this is how the father speaks to the mother, and so this son is only modeling his behavior. But you're a father yourself, Mr. Shomi, please speak to this.
Well, this quite clearly evident a dysfunctional family lifestyle. I mean, it's quite clear that there's something wrong in that family. Is either the way the father and the mother interact or something else? But we've also seen the frustration of a young boy who wants to go to school, who wants to get educated, who is feeling frustrated, who needs help. This boy is a victim in this situation, but expressing his frustration in a way that violates or negates good family values.
This story really cuts deep, and it's actually really sad to see how he took the whole thing. No parent will want to bring their children to the world and allow them suffer or allow them not go to school. Sometimes it's circumstances. And it's so sad the way he took the whole issue. Olamide, I tell you, there are often times that you see that your parents cannot do it and you have to step in. A lot of us have done that. You know, you have to just step in because you know that your life depends on it. I hate when I see people blaming parents. I hope I don't get emotional with this, but I hate when I see people blaming parents because no parent wants their child to suffer or not make it or not send the child to school. It's very sad the way he spoke to the mother. I just pray something they were doing for content. I hope that he doesn't grow up to be that kind of person. And for every young person, if your parents cannot do it and you can do it, you should not resent your parents because no parent wants you to suffer or not make it in life.
Absolutely. You know, for the parents, they have obligations towards their children. The children also have obligations towards their parents, just as the father also have obligation towards their wards. Whenever things go awry for the family, there should be a way to be empathetic. If your parents is not able to do something, step in as a kid. But if you as a kid, your parents owe you the duty to send you to school and all of that. But what is the place of empathy? How do you train these kids? How do you raise these kids? It's so difficult to really analyze what had happened in that very short video. But one thing is, for those that are watching, we need to take things slow, find a place to have conversation, and also speak to God and seek counsel. Do not disrespect your parents no matter what. Even if they are bad,
even in the Bible,
in
the Bible it says, honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long on earth. It's even in the Bible. I didn't say it, God said it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your input, team. Moving on, still in the world of social media, a tense roadside encounter between the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority officer, LASTMA officer, and an Uber driver is gaining traction online after a video of the incident surfaced on X. Now, the clip recorded inside the Uber shows the driver, as you can see there, being confronted for allegedly taking a wrong turn. And what begins as a routine stop quickly escalates with the officer's approach turning very confrontational and the exchange getting heated. At one point, the driver threatens to call for help, a move the officer brushes off, telling him, call anybody that you want to call, but have a look for yourself.
If you can go inside, no problem.
No, let me try. 9060. Send thank you.
Yeah?
I don't want to feel like your day is really messed up.
Not because of that.
As you just saw there, we didn't play the confrontation for broadcast purposes, but as you just saw there, the female passenger had to step into that confrontation, urging both sides to calm down. And then comes an unexpected moment that I think we should focus on. She later transfers 10,000 naira to the driver, saying that it was to ease his stress after the encounter. We've all experienced LASTMA stress. In fact, on my way here this morning, let me not tell you what happened, but let's have a look at social media. Baby U says, this driver can go to jail if we are in a sane country. You have no right to fight a law enforcement in uniform. Fighting a law enforcement personnel in uniform is jail time in a working country. But in Nigeria, anyone will always challenge the police and anyone in uniform. There's no respect for the uniform. We can do better. And Polex12 says, you have a passenger with you. At least if the LASTMA doesn't respect it, then you should respect your customer. Be amicable with the LASTMA and sort it out. Or if it requires going to office, politely find another way for the customer. Now, team, there's a lot of gray area when we talk about how LASTMA officers should approach their duties. Yeah. They do wear a uniform. They have been put there to, control traffic and enforce these rules. However, that was even dangerous. He's holding the gear. They're on a busy road. It's a very interesting exchange, and it calls into question, an aspect of our daily lives here in Lagos.
Well, it's quite clear that we are beginning to see a growing pattern of people not cooperating with law enforcement officers, and that should be totally unacceptable. Taking a wrong turn and being challenged by LASTMA, to me, the LASTMA official is doing his duty. The Uber driver should have cooperated with the LASTMA driver. We need to begin to crack down and ensure that drivers behave appropriately, rightly on the road. We don't have to wait for an accident to happen before this is stopped.
For me, I never resort to violence in anything, so I do not even like how it was getting very rowdy. The LASTMA officials are there to make sure that, you drive safely, to make sure that you do not violate the law. Oftentimes, I feel like maybe we don't tend to respect them because of some bad eggs that will always take some change at the end of the day. But these are people that make sure that the road is safe and they regulate what you do. So when LASTMA stops you, please stop and do the right thing.
In anything we do in this life, we need to take it slow. If you feel wronged, look for the right authorities and report to them. Don't take matters into your hand. Don't take actions into your hand, because it can be very dangerous at the end of the day. What if you swerve and then you kill someone on the road? So we need to take things slow, really.
Absolutely. If you're watching back home, respect the roads and respect the authorities put in place to protect our roads. Thank you so much for your input, team.